The Denver Broncos play the New York Giants. Dre Greenlaw could possibly make his return, debuting this Sunday against the Giants. Alex Palczewski, told to us by Garrett Bowles, will be the starting left guard. Will that solidify the left side? I will say why I think so. And the Broncos and Giants have developed an odd rivalry right before the game. That and many more to talk about on today's episode of Orange and Blue Blitz.
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grinding can't be beat. Every play, every style we meet. Blitz so hard it's on repeat. Mile high dreams we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos country, we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in Broncos Country. We are live today on this Friday. Welcome to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, brought to you by the Orange and Blue Network. I'm your host and one of the co-founders of the Orange and Blue Network, Isaiah Henderson, also known as the Bronco Gentleman. Thank you, guys. Glad to be here for a live episode this Friday. We've got a lot to talk about today. As we said in the intro, Dre Greenlaw could possibly be returning. The injury report today is going to tell us whether or not he will. I think Jonathan Cooper's playing as well. But Dre Greenlaw could be making his premiere. Alex Palczewski is going to be the left guard. That was told to us by Garrett Bowles, and I think that's going to solidify the left side. I think he's going to do an excellent job at left guard. And Broncos and Giants have developed a rivalry over the last couple of days. So we're going to go over the timeline with that. And then we're going to see where we're at with that. But before we do, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with your friends and family. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. We are on the path to 539. And that's important because Super Bowl 50 weekend, 10-year anniversary is this weekend. But we're on the path to 539, which is Peyton Manning's touchdown record that he broke with the Broncos. And so when we hit 539 subscribers, that will trigger a Bo Nix jersey giveaway. But you must be subscribed to us on YouTube to be a part of that running. And after we hit 539, the next goal will be 750. And there will be more giveaways as well. So make sure you hit that notification bell as well, because you do not want to miss all the shows that we have. The Get Bucked Game Day show, I won't be hosting that this Sunday because I will be at the game. Last minute decision, just decided to get a ticket. The game tickets were expensive. I'll be in section 515, but I'll be at the Bronco Libre tailgate, so I'll be there with the rest of the Orange and Blue Network. But Bronco Rob and Yost will be hosting the Get Bucked Game Day show. So shout out to Rob and Yost for holding it down. Yost is a longtime brother. Love him. We served together as well. We've been friends about 10 years as well, because we spent, me, Johnny, and Michael spent Super Bowl 50 together. So if this is the anniversary of that, this would be also the anniversary of a mile marker of our friendship as well. So I love Michael, and I'm glad he's with the network hosting with us, because he's one of the three original Musketeers. I think we still have that jersey hung up. We still have 3 jerseys in the rafters for the 3 of us. I think we have bobbleheads too. There's a lot going on with that. But he's going to be holding it down and hosting for that. But make sure you guys hit the notification bell, because you guys aren't going to want to miss any of the shows. So first things first, Dre Greenlaw possibly making his debut. And I don't want to miss over the Jonathan Cooper practice thing as well, because he was limited as well. And if he's limited today, he may be questionable. We'll jump into the Broncos Giants thing and why I think he'll play. But Dre Greenlaw back off of IR, designated off of IR. They said he looked good at practice. He was limited in both days, but 2 good days back to back. So now it's Friday. We'll see if he's limited again. And Van Joseph did say if he does play, it will be in a part-time position. That's fine with me. Like I said, I'm going to the game. I'd love for the game at the home game I go to be when Dre Greenlaw makes his debut, even if it's in a part-time position. It's funny because Johnny and I have started a tradition where I'd never been to Colorado previously, and then we decided, one day they got me, Johnny got me tickets to go to a home game. I think it was for Christmas, and it was the Patriots game with Russell Wilson. And that's the last game Russell Wilson played for the Broncos. But it's my first time going to Colorado, first time going to a home game. And then for 3 years in a row, for 3 years in a row now, made it a habit to try and go to one home game every year. And so the next following year went to the Raiders game, the throwback game, the premiere of the throwback uniforms and Pat Surtain's pick 6 that propelled him to his Defensive Player of the Year award-winning season. And then this year it's going to be Super Bowl 50 10-year anniversary with the against the Giants. And I'm hoping that, this can also be Dre Greenlaw's debut, even if it's part-time. And I think a lot of people were, discussing when Dre Greenlaw comes back, who's going to be the linebacker rotation. And I just want to say here, Alex Singleton is going to remain on the field. If you see Alex Singleton's snap numbers, there's 4 people who play 100% of defensive snaps every single game. Pat Surtain, Brandon Jones, Riley Moss, and Alex Singleton. That's not going to change when Dre Greenlaw comes in. Dre Greenlaw is going to take the Justin Sternad role. I think he's not going to take the Justin Sternad role. He's going to take Justin Sternad's snaps. That's better. I think Alex Singleton and Justin Sternad are going to switch roles, but they're going to keep the snaps, if that makes sense. So Alex Singleton is going to, but Dre Greenlaw is going to be on the sub packages, the dime, the nickel, which we run 40 to 60%, 40 to 50% of the time anyway. So those two will be on the field together, and dime packages, nickel packages, which we run a lot of with Jaquan on the field. But in base package, early rundowns, unless I think Alex Singleton will be on the field. It's just been that trend. And so chat's filled up. So before we finished with Dre Greenlaw, Blitz comes in. He says, feel sorry for Dark. He's going to be running for his life. Yeah, we're juiced up. We're definitely juiced up. Dak said, what's good, brother? What's good, baby? Can't wait to see you at the game. I saw you landed. You have a layover, so I'm glad your flight is going safely. And I'm praying for all of you guys. I'm glad Johnny landed safely. Him and I spoke about some logistics today as well. So I'm praying for all of you guys to land safely and to get there safely. So I'm glad we're updating each other in the chat. Rob Merrick said Giants hopefully ain't embarrassing shit. Yeah, I agree. Come out, make a statement. I think we've got to set the tone early. Don't let these young bucks come out here and try and set the tone at home and us try and chase momentum. Come out, set the tone. One guy I'm really expecting to keep an eye on to set the tone is JT Gray. But that's something that we can talk about a little bit later. Blitz says, shout out to DT this weekend. Man is a legend. Hope Broncos win for him. Yeah, Peyton Manning was my favorite quarterback, and that's why I was a Colts fan. And then when they let him go, I became a Broncos fan because I just didn't like that. I loved watching Dallas Clark. I loved watching Marvin Harrison. I loved watching Reggie Wayne. I love watching Austin Collie. I love watching Pierre Garçon. But when I began to truly love football and understand it, Demaryius Thomas was my favorite wide receiver. And I love when there was a 1 or 2 seasons where he had the nickname Optimus Prime because Calvin Johnson was Megatron. And that was just a testament. That nickname was a testament to how dominant he was. And so, yeah, absolute legend. Yep. Bronco Rob says he is hosting with Yost. He's going to be running. Rob's been running it, been there since like the beginning with me a couple of times, most of the time. So he knows what he's doing. So you guys get to come and listen to Rob. Shy comes in and says Dart is going to be running for his life. I agree. Over or under 5 sacks for Denver's defense. I'm going to go with the under. Or I might even take the even. I'd say 4 to 5. Blitz says, I saw some shots fired from Benito about the Giants fans being delusional, then deleted. I hope him and Cooper play with anger and passion. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about that today. And I think Cortland balls out this game for DT. Yeah, I think they're not going to be able to stop Cortland Sutton, and I'm excited. I think watching Buddy Ball with Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, I think there's going to be some Buddy Ball going on with Cortland Sutton. Just some old school, hey, this is the guy, target him over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm excited to see Sean Payton's play calls. Appreciate the thumbs up. But finishing what we said about Drake Greenlaw, you guys are in the comments killing it. Keep it up, guys. Keep one in the comments. What we said about saying about Drake Greenlaw. With him coming back. Yeah, with the story, there was definitely some setbacks. I guess anytime he tried to sprint, there were some setbacks. So they went ahead and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and put you on IR. So there's a possibility that, he's been doing sprints consistently for a couple weeks and hasn't been getting injured. And so now that he's back in practice on a limited basis. So like I said, we're definitely going to be looking for that injury report today. So that's definitely one thing that we're definitely going to be really, really looking for. And then before we move on from Drake Greenlaw, I just want to talk about his impact that we'll have in this defense going forward. And that is one thing that's missing from this defense is a lot of our sacks are covered sacks, and that's good because our secondary is elite. And a lot of them are quick pressure sacks, rushing 4 without even blitzing. So we're number 1 in the NFL in blitz and getting sacks with 4, and we're number 1 with blitz. So we can get there any way we want. But if you notice that one thing's different, I think that's definitely going to be different this game, is what Super Bowl 50 defense had, which was the turnovers. And I think what Drake Greenlaw is going to bring, something that's going to be unspoken, and it may be directly, but it also I think mostly will be indirectly. I think Drake Greenlaw's presence, aggression, passion, smarts for the game, him patrolling the center of the field will cause more turnovers. Now, he may get some forced fumbles himself. He may get some interceptions himself. I wouldn't doubt it. But I think the majority of his influence and impact is going to be, well, we can't go to our running back. We can't go to our tight end. We can't go to the middle of the field. They're trying to force it. And that's when there'll be tip balls. The safeties will come in, or there'll be a strip sack because they're holding the ball too long. So I think that his addition will definitely make a difference. And I definitely think that he's definitely going to be that difference maker. Shai says, I hope Bo Nix does better. Blitz Reference says, Bo Nix looks fine. I think a lot is the play calls. Bo Nix has done better the first 4 weeks than he did last year. But the trajectory he's on is a regression, and unless he increases, I think he's on track to regress by 1 passing touchdown and a couple hundred passing yards. He's running a lot less and trying to throw more. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs more. But I think there needs to be a balance. And I think, some play calls where Bo checks out of some play calls like that 3rd and 10. I think Bo checked out of that one, and Sean Payton didn't want that. Where also Bo Nix wants tempo, and Sean Payton doesn't always want that. So I think there needs to be a cohesive play calling. I think that can start this week at home as well. And so I think he's cut down on the turnovers a lot. And so that's good. His pocket presence looks better. I think this is the game we can definitely start hitting on those. And the big thing is just hitting on those deep balls, incorporating Evan Ingram more and hitting on those deep balls. Once he starts hitting on those, because we have the receivers for that. Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, we have the receivers for that. We have the play calls for that. Even RJ Harvey. And so we just need to start hitting those. And Blitz says Bo just needs to get locked in, and he should eat this defense apart. Their front five is stacked. The Giants' back end is terrible. Not only is their back end, their secondary is not good at all, their run defense isn't good at all as well. And so I think we should see a heavy dose of just bully ball, just coming out and bullying, because their front is little. Their pass rush is light. It's Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, and Kayvon Thibodeau. That's 3 edge rushers and a defensive and a nose tackle or defensive tackle. So it's a little light. So their run defense is a little light as well. So I expect, which takes us to our next topic, which is a pretty good transition. Alex Palczewski was let out by Garrett Bowles. Last week it was let out by a video. Matt Parrott starting with the starters. This week it was let out by Garrett Bowles that Alex Palczewski will be the left guard. And I think, I think that works. And the reason why I think that's going to work is because we'd seen Matt Parrott as the swing tackle, and we'd even stepped in at left tackle for maybe a game or two. And so we have confidence with him as that. But we've never seen him at left guard. Granted, even though we've never seen Alex Palczewski, we've seen at guard, we've seen Alex Palczewski play both tackles and do decent and do well as an eligible tackle. So we've seen him do well wherever he plays. And so the confidence that we have in Alex Palczewski is, hey, we've seen him play with this offensive line before. We've seen him play multiple positions and be successful before. And now you're going to put him at left guard. Now I wish we had a stronger, better center, so that way you could sandwich him with borderline. I think Garrett Bowles, if he's not first team All-Pro this year, he's definitely second team. He's going to get an All-Pro nod. So we have an All-Pro left tackle, and I wish we had an All-Pro center, and you could sandwich him in between them, and that'll work. But Garrett Bowles did say that, he's going to do a better job of, he's going to do whatever he can to make sure he helps the left guard. And so I think we know how important this game is and how important this is to our win streak and at home and getting this win, because we do have a tougher matchup next week. And so I don't want to say hold on, but the offense is in this tough position because we simultaneously want to get the rhythm and get better, because I think we're ranked about somewhere between 20th and 15th. Not bad, not good. Okay. And so the best thing about it is we have a top 10, we have number 7 in rushing. And so I think we simultaneously want to get in rhythm and move forward through this stretch, because we're on a 3-game win streak and it doesn't feel that way. So we want to get our offense on point, on code, while simultaneously trying to fix this hole at left guard. And so we're kind of in a pickle here. And so I think the confidence is, hey, Matt Parrott had a bad game, but it turned out that he played through an injury that put him on IR. So now Alex Palczewski comes in. He's healthy. He's coming in at left guard. It's going to be a challenge. And so we're just fingers crossed, hoping for the best. The coaches seem confident. They think they have a good game plan. And I think just running the ball is going to help get guys like Alex Palczewski, Luke Wattenberg confidence, get the ball rolling. And so if you can get some early rushes, some early 5-6 yard gains, maybe a 10-12 yard breakaway run from J.K. Dobbins, maybe get R.J. Harvey up the middle, get them a burst of 20-25 yards, just get them on their heels. And then maybe you're doing that with up tempo. Get the defense back on their heels. You go up 7-0, and all of a sudden now our defense can play. And that's when, if Dre Greenlaw makes his debut, then makes his debut, then that's when you can put him in on their when you think the Giants think they can get momentum, then you put Dre Greenlaw on there. And so now he's out there playing aggressive flanks, going sideline to sideline, 3 and out, take him out for a rest. Offense comes out, run the ball again down their throats. And so, get the crowd into it and just take their confidence away. And the games that they've played, I think they came back against the Chargers down 14-0. But I think they were at home, if I remember correctly. So you just want to take their confidence away, but this is the best defense that they faced this year. So you want to take their confidence away, and then you want to pin their ears back. That's when Vance Joseph can get in his bag. And he's got all these tools on defense, especially if Dre Greenlaw comes back. So this is where you want complementary football. So you've got Malcolm Roach is back. Maybe Drake Greenlaw's back, and then Alex Palczewski could be that patchwork at left guard. So then you can really have an opportunity to play complementary football going into to Dallas. Blitz says, and they can't cover tight ends. Ingram should eat. Yes, Evan Ingram, we've seen a ramp up of these last few weeks. And similar to what we saw of Marvin Mims, and we saw that last week of, hey, we need a first down, put Marvin Mims in the backfield. They forgot to cover him. Boom, wide open, 27-yard gain. Once we started to use Marvin Mims, Bo Nix shot up. If you look at Bo Nix's stats and the winnings and the wins that we had last year, it was Marvin Mims' usage and Bo Nix went up at the same time. And so I think this year it's Evan Ingram's usage. You're going to see Bo Nix and the offense also start to climb. And so, and so now they're starting to get their rhythm. They're starting to understand each other. And that's just another thing for them to game plan for. And yeah, like I said, they're linebackers in the secondary. And so once you get the run game going, because their front is soft in the run game, so once you bully them and get to the second level, that's when their confidence will start taking. So if you can take their confidence on defense and take their confidence away on offense, then you can start to see the young team show. Shai says, I think KC found their rhythm. Yes, I don't fear KC. I see they found their rhythm. Other teams are like, oh, no. The national media is like, oh, no. But I'm like, we play them twice a year. We can't be afraid of them. We beat them last year. We beat them the year before. So we beat them once. We've split with the Chiefs every year of Sean Payton's tenure. The first game is at home. Drake Greenlaw should be back. We have a possibility of being 9-8-2 at that time before we play KC. So we've got the Giants, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Raiders, the Chiefs. If we win, so we got 4 games to play the Chiefs. So if we win all 4 games and we're 3-2, we could be 7-2 going to the Chiefs game at home before the bye. And Drake Greenlaw should be back and healthy. Alex Palczewski should be settled in. The offensive line should be settled in. So I don't fear them. They're Xavier Worthy. They're hit and miss. They definitely got the end around with the speed, but so do we. Xavier Worthy one's a 4.27 or 4.2. John Barron one's a 4.3. We've got Pat Surtain. They got Rashee Rice. They have Hollywood Brown. We have Riley Moss, Tano Hufanga, Drake Greenlaw. They don't really have a run game. We've got a pass rush. So I don't fear them. D-Rock in the house says, sup, chat. West Side. Blitz says, just thinking about how we had the lead in both those losses, bad calls and penalties, we could be 6-0. Yeah. The Colts and Chargers are playing for number 1 in the AFC on Sunday. And so whoever wins that game will be number 1. And we lost to both those teams by a last-second field goal. Those are our only losses to the 2 teams. One's in the division. I hate that we're on a 3-game losing streak to the Chargers. We're going to beat them last game of the season. I know it for a fact. We're not going to lose again to the Chargers. But the 2 teams that we lost to by last-second field goals, without Drake Greenlaw, without Malcolm Roach, I think one of them was without Evan Ingram. We lost 2 by field goals. So, yeah, we could be 6-0 going into this stretch. Blitz says Jackson Dart feeling himself a little bit too much after we clipped the Eagles' wings. You finished them off. Dart is gonna get too cocky. I hope he tests Peters too. Lil Jordan Humphrey is the best wide receiver on our team. Yeah, 2 of their wide receivers won't be playing. And their defense, some of their defenders won't even be playing as well. So they're pretty banged up on the defense and their receivers. So it's just going to be a healthy dose of Cam Scatterboo. And then Jackson Dart trying to make something happen with his feet. Kind of like, minus the defense, kind of like the Broncos were last year with just Cortland Sutton and Bo trying to make something happen. Except you got that in Cam Scatterboo. So their defense is pretty banged up. I think they're going to be out a couple DBs and linebackers. I don't know if they're the starting linebackers, but they're going to be out a couple linebackers and DBs and receivers. We're going to finally beat KC and KC down in the Kingdom. I'm trying. That's like a 6-hour drive for me. I'm going to try to be there for Christmas Thursday night game. I want to see that game. I want to get some Kansas City barbecue. There's the co-host along with Bronco Rob for Get Buck Game Day show this Sunday. Maku Yos. He says, "What's up, everyone? What's up, dog? What's up, brother? How you doing? How's the family?" If KC wins, they will be in first place. No, because Kansas City has 3 losses, and we have 2. So if we win, we'll be 5-2. If Kansas City wins, they'll be 4-3. So if the Colts beat the Chargers, I don't care if the Colts are number 1 in first place. I want to see them again in the playoffs. We lost by a last-second field goal without Dre Greenlaw, without Malcolm Roach, without Evan Ingram. I want to see them again. But if the Colts beat the Chargers will be 4-3, and we win, we'll be 5-2. If the Chargers lose and the Chiefs win, we win. We win, Chargers lose, Chiefs win or lose, we'll be number 1 in the AFC West. Yes, one big hit from Kawabunga Hufunga. I think Scatterboo realized, oh snap, this defense is real. My brother Sean calls him Tylenol Hufunga because he gives people headaches. Also, guys, people have been trying to figure out the nickname for the Broncos defense, and they've come up with some names. Orange Rush. Nah, guys. And I need to see more hashtags on social media because you guys know and we know that is not where is it? Oh, Johnny. It's Cell Block D. It's definitely Cell Block D. It's not up here because I'm going to see, don't worry, I'm going to see Johnny tomorrow, and we'll have a conversation about why the graphic's not up here. But it's definitely Cell Block D. But Cowabunga Hufunga, Tylenol Hufunga. Yeah, he's going to take a hit. That's why I pray Jerry Greenlaw's playing. He's going to take a hit and then realize, okay, because we're going to know because when they beat the Eagles, we saw on Thursday night, okay, this is what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and hit you. They're going to try and run through you. So that's why I said earlier, it's important for us to set the tone and not them because we know what they're going to try and do. So we got to come out there and do it first. Hit them hard, hit them first, set the tone, get the crowd into it. And Scat and Dart are Scat's a good nickname for him. And Dart are hungry and play very well off each other. Yeah, they do. They play very well off of each other. So we got to either smack both or smack one. Who has more rushing yards, Scatterbo or J.K. Dobbins? I think that's a good question. They're close. I know Scatterbo's had a good couple last games. I think they're close. Scat is an absolute tank and is completely bought into his team. One hit isn't going to deter that guy as much as I want it to be wrong. No, not one hit. Not a big hit. I want a big hit, but a big hit and constant negative yards, negative plays, 1 or 2 yard gains. No downhill, because his thing is downhill momentum. So if you stop him from getting the open field and he can't get momentum, that's when you take him out of the game, stop him from getting momentum. We've done that against some good running backs this year. Saquon Barkley, besides the 47 receiving yard touchdown, not too much against Jonathan Taylor. Giants haven't faced an edge attack like ours, and also pressure in Dart's face like 70% of the time. I think he falls like Oregon. I think the pressure is going to come from the interior. And they're not expecting that because Malcolm Roach is back. So you're going to have DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach, Jonathan Franklin Myers, and Wazirike, who's coming off a sack of each game, who's got momentum as well, Zach Allen. They're not going to be expecting that. They're not going to be expecting all the quarterback hits as well. So Scottybo's going to be helping Jackson Dart off the turf a lot. All right, guys. So the last thing we're going to cover, the last thing I want to get to is the Broncos-Giants beef. But before that, I did say earlier we were going to talk about how I think JT Gray is going to be key to setting the tone. This pickup went under the radar, not necessarily for Broncos country, but for the NFL. Broncos were one of the worst kickoff and punt covering teams in the NFL. And it's cost us a game or two. It's given opposing offenses really good field position. Puts our defense in bad positions. And we went out this week and we picked up JT Gray, who was a 3-time all-pro special teamer. Played for Darren Rizzi, played for the Saints, played for Sean Payton. Became an all-pro under Sean Payton, became an all-pro under Darren Rizzi. He knows what he's doing. He knows the system. And this was an excellent pickup to fill up a big hole. And I think his leadership is going to set the tone for special teams, and I think he has the ability to come off on kickoff to either force a turnover or to just get a big hit on kickoff coverage or punt coverage and really turn the special teams around. I do believe this one guy can make the difference. I think when Drew Sanders gets back, because Garrett Winslow was a special teamer, he got a lot of tackles on kickoff coverage, is on IR. I think JT Gray and I think Drew Sanders coming back is definitely going to help with changing the special teams around. I think it's going to be a big boost. Rob says, do you think the Broncos started the linebacker from the Saints? I think his last name is Davis. No, I think with Greenlaw coming back, if Greenlaw comes back healthy, our depth with Greenlaw coming back is very, very good. You have Greenlaw, Singleton, Sternad, Lavelle Bailey, Karene Reed. We've got good linebacker depth. We already don't want Justice Sternad to lose snaps. We want Justice Sternad to get snaps over Alex Singleton. What would Davis do? So unless Greenlaw goes back on IR, it has to be shut down again. No. If I were to target someone, I would target Nakobe Dean from the Eagles before I would target Demario Davis, because Nakobe Dean has the potential to be here long term. I would target him. Blitz says Andrew Thomas or whoever he is, they seem to think he is a wall and Benito won't run through him. LOL. Shaking my head, delusional Giants fans. They have not faced the best pass edge rushers in the NFL. Their wins were against, they lost to the Saints, which is going to take me to the next segment, which is the Broncos Giants beef. So this started with, and I think it was taken out of context, but so be it. It is what it is. Excuse me. Jonathan Cooper came out and mentioned Jackson Dart was a chain and they're hyped and they've got momentum. Excuse me. I think it was taken out of context as a dig at him for wearing a chain, which it isn't, because Jonathan Cooper's not that guy. But he said everybody needs something, and he's like, hey, that's their thing. They build off that. They're winning. They're beating good teams. That's what I took it as. Giants Twitter and Giants fandom and some of the Giants players took it as an insult. So they came out to defend their quarterback, and it went viral on Giants Twitter. Got picked up by some of these NFL accounts, not the major ones, but some of these weird NFL accounts. Dove Cleveland and stuff like that, and JPA and whatever the case may be. And so Giants took it, Twitter and Giants fandom took it personal. Giants Twitter was also talking before, which Blitz mentioned, about Andrew Thomas shutting down Nick Benito. And so Nick Benito came out with a tweet and says, basically, Giants fans are the most delusional fan base he's seen. That got picked up, and then he later deleted it. Then Kayvon Thibodeau came out and with a meme or a GIF. Abdul Carter did as well. And so some of the players, so the edge rushers are definitely getting involved. I think Brian Burns, I'm not sure if Brian Burns commented. But the edge rushers are definitely commenting on Twitter. And then there was a DM to Nick Benito by one of the Giants fans, and she said, hey, we saw your tweet. And he said, belt to ass Sunday, get out of my DMs. And so that went viral in Giants thing. So now it's been back and forth between Giants and Broncos. So now there's hype. There's a young team that's interesting and exciting to watch. That's coming into Denver after 10 days off from a Thursday night game. They've beaten good teams, but lost to the Saints, who have a good front four and pass rush, that are coming into Denver to playing the number one defense in the NFL, which has the number one pass rush by far. This defensive player of the year in the secondary, defensive player of the year candidate, and pass rush. And so an offense that's inconsistent, but has a top 10 running back. So that's where we're at now. Blitz says Andrew Thomas or whoever he is, they seem to think he is a wall. We need to run through him, delusional Giants fans. So that's where Blitz is coming from. Yo says, I'm all about the sacks this season, but like me and Jay were saying Tuesday night, we need turnovers. We haven't seen many turnovers this season, and I need our defense to start getting us the ball. And like I said, I think that's the absence of Dre Greenlaw. I think the ability, someone that's menacing and not patrolling the middle that can make you pay for going over the middle because Talanoa Hufanga can't do it all by himself. But those two together are really, really – it makes you pay when you go over the middle, so you avoid going over the middle, and you can't go to the outside. So what you do is you have Pat Surtain taking away – either he's following your number one receiver, which is going to be tough next week, and Dre Greenlaw is really going to help with taking away the middle of the field because Riley Moss is going to have a huge task because you're gonna have to put Pat Surtain on CeeDee Lamb, and you're going to have to put Riley Moss on George Pickens. So Dre Greenlaw is really going to help. But with Pat Surtain, you take away one receiver or part of the field. With Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, you take away the middle of the field. So now you have parts of the field, or you take away the tight end, the running back. You have players that you just cannot go to, not to mention a pass rush flushing at you. I think is going to increase the turnovers. So I think patrolling the middle of the field is definitely going to help. I heard bubbling from my family in Denver that we may target Taysom Hill. A lot of my family lives in Denver, so they heard a lot of radio stuff. No, Taysom Hill's like 35, 36. He's injury prone. He brings nothing to this team, to this offense whatsoever. We have the tight ends. If anything, we're going to target a tight end. It'll be Mark Andrews. If there's a tight end to target, it'll be Mark Andrews. Taysom Hill doesn't do anything Bo Nix can't do. I think it's a dead giveaway if you put Taysom Hill in the game, what they're doing. He's older. He's injured, so no, he's running. I think if anything we're going to target from the Saints, it would be three players. Chris Olave, injury prone to concussions, so Eric McCoy, their center, or Demario Davis. And that's if Dre Greenlaw has to be shelved. D-Rock says, chat, what's the sacks prediction? Earlier we had someone say 5. I said somewhere between 4 and 5. Blitz says 6 sacks. D-Rock says 6 again. 6 sacks. Wow. Okay. This defense plan for Demaryius Thomas? No. I think Cortland Sutton is going to be playing for Demaryius Thomas. I think the defense is going to be playing for the Super Bowl 50 defense. That's why I think that turnover light switch is going to change. And this defense with turnovers is scary. Is absolutely scary. This defense in of itself is already scary. It's already scary. The only thing we added was Talanoa Hufanga right now. We have Alex Singleton back who's healthy. And then you bring in Dre Greenlaw, and then you add turnovers. I don't know what this defense can be. We're already up here with no turnovers, with hardly any turnovers. And then you bring Dre Greenlaw on the turnovers. Oh, my goodness. Shai says, I say Benito with 7 sacks. Let's do it. Let's get Benito with 7 sacks. I love it, Shai. I'm predicting 3.5 in the first half. 3+ in the first half. Let's go. Blitz says, I love that, Shai. Casa Benito for the win. D-Rock says, whoa, Casa Benito with 7 sacks. LFG. Yo says, I can get on that, D-Rock. 3+ in the first half are pretty much standing at this point. Yeah, I can see that as well. Zach Attack is in the queue. Let's go. Tillman will get at least sacks this game. Yes, because Jonah Ellis won't be playing, so Q Robinson will also get the elevation again. So he's getting some snaps. So he says Q Robinson, not Q. Tillman will get at least 2 sacks. Maybe Q Robinson gets his first sack. I'm looking at PS2 as well. I need less penalties and more interceptions. Hey, yeah. Hey, talk to the deep. I agree. Anyone getting an interception in this game? I think I'd either have to go. I think Riley Moss. It's between Riley Moss, Brandon Jones, and Talanoa Hufanga. So you guys pick between who you guys think will get an interception this game. Argued with a fan at work who tried to tell me Singleton is terrible. Well, the chart got released for pass coverage for linebackers, and he's one of the worst in the NFL. I think his time's run out for Denver. I appreciate what he's doing. I want one of the Ohio State linebackers. Just really quick, I tweeted this. This is what I want the 2020, and I want Dre Greenlaw to be healthy the rest of the year. 2026 linebacker room. Dre Greenlaw, Nakobe Dean, Justin Strnad, Ohio State running back. Ohio State linebacker. That's what I want a linebacker to room. Acquiring Andrews will cost too much, so Taysom will be more likely. What do we need Taysom Hill for? We have got Atkins back, who just scored a touchdown, who did well and is healthy. Troutman, who's having a pretty decent season. Every Ingram, who's starting to boost. Andrews provides more than Taysom does. Taysom doesn't provide anything to us, in my opinion. Blitz says, D-Rock, I think Dark gets too cute and starts trying to make things happen. I detest the great PS2, and I think he makes him pay. I agree. I think it's time for PS2 to start making them pay. And this goes back to this push and pull, this cohesive play calling that I said earlier with Sean Payton and Bo about the up tempo. Because Bo is thinking about this as from a quarterback offensive perspective. Sean Payton is talking about this from a head coach perspective, which is, hey, I understand that, and we'll probably see more of that, which will hurt them in altitude. But also, the defense also needs a breather, doesn't need to be out there as often because the offense is scoring so fast, or you get quick 3-and-outs that way. So the altitude can definitely make them hurt, which is why we have an excellent home record, and also because of the fans. And Broncos country, I'll be there as well as most of Orange and Blue Network, and a lot of the Orange and Blue crew will be there as well. And so we're going to be loud, and so it's going to be hard for them on third down. It's going to be good for Benito and Cooper to the snap count, to get the snap count and get those sacks. Yost says Hufanga, in my opinion, has the best chance at interception, just need to read the QB slightly better. Look at Yost. Johnny and I were talking about you earlier, not earlier today, but a couple days ago, and how far you come and watching football when you first started, and how much you are and how knowledgeable you are. And we're proud of you, bud, and we love it. We have to get another wide receiver from Bo in this draft. You want to draft another wide receiver, or I think it's time for either a big free agent signing wide receiver, or you're going to have to trade for one. I think we've gone to the draft the last 2 years. We've got Troy Franklin and we've got Pat Bryant, and just drafting another wide receiver that we want to get on the field. The wide receiver room is already crowded, or was before the season when we traded Bailey. And so I think that the Broncos need to get another wide receiver who's just going to solidify himself. They're already there, and let the other guys. Because remember, you also have Franklin. You have Franklin, which was drafted the year before. Then you have not Franklin, Mims. Then you have Franklin, and then you have Bryant. So we've already drafted 3 young receivers, all on their rookie deal. And so unless you're saying Jeremiah Smith, I don't even know if they're eligible to come out this draft. But then you're getting another guy. Maybe he's, what do you say, first round, or you're going to go second round? We got to get a linebacker. We're going to get our interior offensive line in the first 2 rounds, maybe even a tight end. Wide receiver may not even be in the first 4 rounds. It may be the 4th round. But wide receiver, I like Jalen Waddle. I think Jalen Waddle is, out of all the receivers to trade for, or that may become free agents, I think Jalen Waddle fits Sean Payton, the Broncos, in the locker room. I like A.J. Brown, but A.J. Brown's a guy that wants to call for targets. Jalen Waddle has been with the Dolphins, and he does better when Tyreek Hill isn't there, when he's the number 1 target. But he's not a drama guy. Him and Pat Surtain are friends. He's not a drama guy. Even when Tyreek Hill was the number 1 receiver, he did his job. And I think he reminds me of Devontae Smith. These Alabama guys, some of the Alabama guys, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, they don't get all their targets, but they do their job. And when they get the ball, they're dangerous. I'd love to trade for him. And the reason why I said I trade for him, because he's an established guy. Maybe you'd say he's wide receiver 1 over Courtland Sutton. You say Courtland Sutton's wide receiver over whatever. But these 2 are the 2 guys. And then you have Mims, Franklin, Bryant doing whatever they need to do. And then you have Ingram. That's more where I'm leaning in the wide receiver as opposed to getting one in the draft. Maybe even a Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson as well. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle. Those are my top 2 guys. Their contracts are big and they just got paid. So there's that. And I understand why you're saying with the draft. Yo says, I disagree. We have plenty of weapons. We aren't making the right adjustments in our play calls to use them. Yeah, we have a lot of weapons. Even RJ Harvey. Everyone in the chat, let's see if we can summon a deep ball connection this Sunday. Just 1 connection, please. And that's what I think is one of the biggest differences between the offense is, and I told this to Sean, was we have Bo Nix last year was his footwork was kind of messy in the pocket and his pocket presence. This year, his pocket presence has improved, but his deep ball was better, but his pocket presence wasn't as good. His pocket presence has improved, but his deep ball, he hasn't connected with the deep ball and the touch with his arm. And I think now it's time to marry those. And we know Bo Nix is an in-season improver. I think this is the game where he begins to marry that and he begins to get the deep ball connection. I think the run game and the deep ball is going to be there in this game. Yo says, I want to draft some O-line, D-line unless we find a generational talent where receiver like Jefferson or Puka that could be a deep ball threat wide receiver that we actually utilize. I'm less on the D-line because we've drafted D-line well the last few years. All our guys are on contracts. I want to extend JFM. I don't think Savion Jones is ready. I think Uwazurike is good. I just don't think that we have the defensive end or defensive tackle. And then Malcolm Roach is going to be a free agent as well to replace those guys. So I would like to extend, if not both of those guys, and let the defensive lineman Uwazurike, Savion Jones, Jordan Jackson develop even more before we decide to do that. But I definitely want to draft Ben Powers comes back healthy because I think Ben Powers has one more year on his contract or two. I'd like to draft a center, maybe in the second round, Connor Liu, or the first round, depending on where we pick in the draft, and definitely a linebacker. Center, linebacker. Those are the first 2 round picks I want. Linebacker first round, center second round. Then we can go maybe tight end third, guard in the fourth. Then we can go D-line, receiver, safety, things like that. All right. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode of Orange and Blue Blitz. We went long today. Today was a longer episode, a lot to talk about. But like I said, we will be at the game Sunday. So Bronco, Rob, and Yost will be hosting the Get Up Game Day show. So guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, guys. That way, when Get Butt Game Day show starts an hour before kickoff, you can be there. And when the Buck Your Feelings post-game show starts, you can also be there. And you don't want to miss the plethora of our other shows. And spoke to Johnny, and we have a show that is getting ready to air on Thursday. So we'll have a show every day of the week. So you guys are going to want to hit your notification bell for that. So you aren't going to want to miss that. Let's see what we got out in the comments closing out. Someone clip the linebacker center draft dream in case he changes his mind at the draft. I'm going to clip it. Because I know what I'm talking about. Keep the receipts. Yo says, can't wait to see y'all Sunday. All right, guys, I'm going to give you guys a mile-high salute. Let's get this dub Sunday. Let's quiet down these Giants fans. Let's enjoy it. But let's we're gonna pray our team backs it up. So give you guys a mile-high salute. Shy, to answer your question, next season, this is the last season we pay Russell Wilson. So we will have even more money next season. So we can extend both guys, Jonathan Franklin Myers and Malcolm Roach, if we want to. We can get a receiver if we want to. So we'll see. Mile high salute to you guys. We'll see you guys at the game day show with